Copy 724, right. Center maintain 2000.
Center maintain 2074.
Comment 504 to center maintain 3000.
3000, comment 504.
In this video, I wanted to cover the advanced avionics. During the journey of getting the private pilot license, you may not encounter any of these equipment, but it's good to know that Cessna 150, 152, 172, they normally don't have it, and but still we wanted to cover it because it's really good to know all of them. First thing is there are some acronyms and we wanted to cover that. So all of them are advanced avionics, and we wanted to talk about the function of these things. AHRS, basically this is the attitude and heading reference system. A is for attitude and heading reference system. So it's composed of 3 axis sensors that provide the heading attitude and yaw information for aircraft. So the planes who has this AHRS, they are designed to replace a traditional mechanical gyroscopic flight instruments and provide superior reliability and accuracy. Then we've got the ADC, which is Air Data Computer. So the aircraft computer that receives and processes period pressure, it's going to be processing static pressure and temperature, and it's going to be calculating the precise altitude, indicated airspeed, true airspeed, vertical speed, and the air temperature. That's what this data computer is used for. Then we have got the PFD, which is the primary flight display. So again, it's a display which provides the increased situational awareness to the pilot by replacing the 6 traditional 6 instruments with an easy to scan display that shows the horizon, airspeed, again altitude, vertical speed, trend, trim, rate of turn, and more. So all your displays are basically replaced by this primary flight display. Then we've got the MFD, which is multifunction display. So a cockpit display capable of presenting information which is navigation data, moving maps, terrain awareness, and and pilots can actually configure them. Then we have FD, stands for stands for flight director. An electronic flight computer that analyzes the navigation selections, signals, and aircraft parameters. It presents steering instructions on the flight display as command bars or crossbars for the pilot to position the nose of the aircraft over or follow. Then we've got the FMS, which is the flight management system. So this one is like a computer system which has a database for programming the routes and approaches and departures, and that can supply navigation data to the flight director or the autopilot for various from various sources. The last thing is the INS. which is interracial navigation system. So this one is a computer-based navigation system that tracks the movement of an aircraft via signals produced by onboard accelerometer. So that's what the inertial, not intertial navigation system is. We wanted to talk about the magnetometer. So basically what it is, so it is a device that measures the strength of the Earth's magnetic field to determine aircraft heading. It provides this information digitally to the uh, uh, AHRS, which is the attitude and heading reference system. So that's what the magnetometer is. Then so what powering when powering up the aircraft with an FMS, right? Which is the flight management system, right? When you have the FMS, the flight management system, like how will you verify the effective dates of the navigation database? So the database effective dates, right? So the effective dates for the navigation database are typically shown on the startup screen. When you bring it up, it's gonna tell you that okay, I am gonna be accurate up to this date, right? So displayed on the can be displayed on the startup screen. Yes. Then we have for again the question about the AHRS. In order to do the initialization of this attitude and heading reference system, do you need to uh, like how can you do the initialization? Does it the aircraft have to be stationary in order to do that or not? So again, some AHRS they must be initialized on the ground prior to the departure. Okay, but others are capable of initialization during taxiing and even in the flight. Which standby flight instruments are normally provided in an advanced avionic aircraft? So, standby flight instruments, right? So every aircraft equipped with the electronic flight instruments must also contain a minimal set of backup standby instruments, usually conventional round dial instruments. So as we were talking about different systems and they can replace uh, your traditional like the air data computer that can tell you everything, attitude, altitude, indicated airspeed, all those things, right? So but you should have like even though you have an advanced avionic, you should have a round dial instruments that typically include an attitude indicator, an airspeed indicator, and an altimeter. They should always uh, be there, even like even though you don't need it because you have the advanced avionics in there, but still these manual dials are still there. So if one display fails, uh, like the PFD or the MFD, it fails, right? what information will be presented on the remaining display? And these are the primary flight display and the multi functional display. So primary flight display, or the MFD, we're talking about its failure. So in the event of display failure, some systems offer a reversion capability to display the primary flight instruments and engine instruments on the remaining operating display, right? And when a display failure occurs, what other system components be affected? Again, if they are fail, like other components or like will be affected. So in some systems, failure of a display will also result in partial loss of navigation, communication, and GPS capability. Okay, what display information will be affected when an ADC failure occurs? And again, the ADC is the air data computer. If that fails, what's gonna happen is that you will have the inoperative airspeed, altitude, and vertical speed indicators, and they would be shown with the red X on the displays. So if it's not gonna be good, yeah. Okay. What display information will be lost when an AHRS? If you lose the AHRS, which is the altitude and heading reference system, if you lose that, so you will have an inoperative attitude indicator, which is basically you're going to be seeing a red X on the displays, indicating the failure of the AHRS. And the last thing I wanted to cover was like, how will loss of magnetometer affect the AHRS operation? So heading information will be lost. So if you have lost the magnetometer, right, and how would it affect the AHRS system? So basically you will just lose the heading information. Those were the things I wanted to cover in this video. Thanks for watching.